All right, there, solar YouTubers. This is Saturn. She's sleeping. She don't want kissies. All right, so this is from my new phone. I had to get a new phone. Simple fact is, I was running a phone that was like 5-6 years old. I need to get my drink, and it was Android 10. I've had some apps that wouldn't run on it. That was getting hard to run, and some notifications. So it's been playing around trying to get this new phone up and ready. So I've had the EB3A charging off of the off of that. So where are we at on this? We are at there. So the fridge is on. Apparently no solar is coming in. So today is September 7th, 2025. This is a Tuesday. That's a pretty cat. So I'm using a like a tripod type holder here. And this one still doesn't allow me to reverse angle. So this is what you guys see. Been really cloudy all day. Hasn't rained. It rained this morning, but it didn't rain in the afternoon at all. We'll go down here and take a look at everything. You know, so it was not too bad. It would get really dark at times, like it's gonna come down, but never did. I might got sprinkled on once or twice, but nothing really major. So not much to report. I think I'm going to go and order those batteries. I think I'm going to go in debt. I think it's for a good cause. So I think I am. I'm not for sure, but if I do, I don't have internet, so I can't show you what I'm buying. They're called, it's YEAGULTCH or just LCH, whatever. There's a YouTuber who drives a school bus, and he has a couple of those, and they seem pretty good. So for a 24 volt, 100 amp hour, two of them, it's $577. So you're looking over $600. But I can put those in parallel and have, 5 kilowatts of storage. And that would definitely get my refrigerator through several days of no sun. And then I just got to figure out how much solar. Let's do this. See how much solar I need to bring in for the solar panels. You guys see that pretty good? I got a little tripod here I'm trying to set up for you guys. Not high enough. Use something like that. I got this one tripod I'm really going to think about getting to make this more whatever. So I do have what's that? Well, let's do this the long way. That's 12.8 times 100. We know what that is. That is 1280. Okay. So we need to times that by 2. That equals 5660. So I need to double that because that's what my other battery bank is going to be at 2560. So we need to times that by 2, and that's 5120. So that is what so that is what storage I'm going to have. So what I'm doing is I am so what I'm doing, how about my pop? So this is what I'm doing. I got 12.8 times 2. That is the batteries are actually 25.6. So I got 25 0.6 times 100. Okay, so that is what I have right now. Okay, so we need times, I'm getting another battery with the same thing here, times that by 2, and that's the total. Okay, so we need to figure out how much solar do I need to bring in to charge those fully. So how we do that is, I'm going to divide that by the sun hours. I'm going to divide it by 3 sun hours. In Indiana, in the wintertime, it's roughly 3 sun hours. Okay? So I'm going to have to bring in about 1,700 watts of solar to charge my batteries up to peak. But what we are not really taking into account here is I am not fully draining my battery at all. So out of this here, I'm not draining it all. So if I was, draining it down to 0 or whatever, down to 10 or 20%, then yes. But I'm not doing that. So back when I was running these batteries in parallel with my old setup, with the 2,000 watt Re-Odo inverter, I was using roughly, not running my fans, just the refrigerator. I was roughly using 40 amp hours out of 60. Out of 100 amp hours, I was using 40 amp hours to run my fridge throughout the night. But I was coming in with issues. It's on the days that I didn't have full sun, and my charge controller was overpowered. It wasn't underpowered, let's say that. I needed 30 amps to come in, and I needed 30 amps to go out. It was only 20 amps. So that was the issue there. So I need 1,700 watts. And let's go back to the 1,700 watts. What is that at? Right here. Okay, 1,700 watts. I want to divide that by 6 because I want 6 panels up there. I don't want a lot of panels. I want 6 panels. So 300 watt panels. I need 300 watt panels. 6 300 watt panels will give me what I want. So what, 3 times, that's 18, that's 1,800 watts, yeah. 6 times 300, 1,800 watts. So 1,800 watts will get my system up. So, we just round that off to 2,000. 2,000. Yep. So that's the, so I think I'm going to order those batteries. Seriously, I think I'm going to go in debt. Forget it. Who cares, right? It's just money. And then what I'm going to do with these batteries here is I'm going to put them back in the boxes. Okay, just put them back in the boxes. And because what I do now, like tomorrow, I literally travel, for those guys who's familiar with the Terre Haute, Vigo County area in Indiana, I travel to Sullivan, then I travel up to Linton, then up to Bloomfield, then back to Terre Haute. So I'm driving 50, 60 miles round trip. Okay, so what I do is when I go, and especially it's wintertime or bad storms or something's coming up, especially wintertime last year, I just hauled up that 2,000 watt generator, stuck it back there. I have a bag here that has all my extension cords in it, power supplies. I take that with me. Then I have my place is a mess. I really don't care. I have a, let's get this so you guys can see it better. It is a 12 volt heated blanket. I take that with me just in case something happens. take my tablet with me because it has the scan tool that I need in case my vehicle breaks down. And I want to take a cooler with me because it'll be cold outside. There's still stuff outside. And I also take an EB3A with me. That's what I do now when I go a long distance. When I go a long distance, I don't need to take, I take that, but I don't need to take the EB3A because my Lucidity battery box, I'll show you here in a second. Hold on. Okay, that is the Lucidity battery box. I cut a hole here so the monitor, the shunt can fit through here. And I will use the shunts I have now. They're real nice ones. And it's a normal box. The plastic does fill them. The only complaint I have is these handles. These are not long enough. And you probably go in and make your own, right? But not long enough. And this is the top of it. The top of it's really heavy. Never done this one-handed before. So it sits on there like that. Where we catch it? There we go. It fit down nice and perfect. Now let's get a light on here so you guys can see. There we go. So of course it's not hooked up. It does have, get down here and take a look. It does have these. That's a cigarette lighter. It has two USB there, and these do light up. And they got a little button here to get it clicking. You're gonna turn off and on. Just the on and off knob here. This is for your inverter. It has a 1,000-watt inverter sitting right here, only one plug. I love this box. I mean, I do love it. And then you have your power button here. It shows you the voltage of the inverter and all this. And it does have the this is your massive one here. But you have three 50 amp input or output. And then this black one is your charge controller. It does have a 10 amp charge controller on here. We really don't know what charge controller that is. So you get any kissies. Or any really thing about it. But that's all in one. I mean, you got your charge controller. You just take your solar panel. 1,000-watt inverter. Of course, you only got that one battery in there. So it's not going to last very long. But you can definitely run a heated blanket off it. And what's another good thing about this is I don't have that. How do I do that before? I was charged it. Oh, my battery charger. So you plug my battery charger into that, and I have the Anderson ends. You just plug it right into any of these ports. I wouldn't plug it into the charge controller, but I plug it into any of these ports, and that goes directly into the battery. And so this is what I was talking about, the handle. You see how so when you're trying to pick it up, it's forcing your hand up against this metal piece on both sides. This side ain't so bad because it's rounded, but over here you have that little edge. So these ain't long enough, so you probably make your own. They just snap like that, but this is only, for me personally, the only real bad thing I can bitch about this, excuse my language, of this box is that. I mean, it's a great all-in-one box. So I'm talking about building your own DIY box. The box, I think it was, I don't guys remember seriously, but it's like $200, $250, something like that for the box. And then plus your own battery. I mean, it was really a good deal. And so I used it for a while, used it for a long time, and then I got started to move bigger. So, and then the Bluetti box is not bad at all. I gotta find my positive, but they got these little screws on here, and battery just turns the battery amp on, and then it just has one USB and has two cigarette lighters. They're not lit. The USB might be lit, I think. Sorry about that, guys. It might be lit, I think. But it's just a simple little box. And we open it. There it is. That's just really simple. So there's not a lot here, but this is a good good battery box if you just need cigarette lighters for something, or just a small little box. So what I had was that box going into the Lucidity, so it's parallel more or less. So I was running my fan off that for a long time. But as an all-in-one boxes at Lucidity, I don't think they make that style anymore. It might be a different one. But we're going on 15 minutes here, so this is long enough. So I hope that this phone is done a little bit better. Before I had the image up this way, so it was kind of hard to really see. So I'm just turning it sideways for it to get bigger, whatever. And I'm expecting any kind of sun tomorrow. But yeah, I think when I get those other batteries in here, I think I'm going to just put those back in the boxes and just use that as when I go on my long distance, just take that box with me just in case, a Lucidity box just in case I need it, and that generator. And so I have where is that at? Here on my mess. Yeah, I don't have a garage. It's all my truck parts. I have a pump. Don't know where it's at. It is what's this here? Oh, that's mine. Oh, from Harbor Freight. I gotta find that pump. It's a power pump that will. I'm back here. It's a long tube, and you put it into your fuel tank. It's battery operated, and then you can push a button, and it's a little pump that pumps it out of the fuel, out of your fuel tank, or fuel from one container. It just pumps it from one container to another. I don't know where's that. I take that with me. It might be out there in the truck. Be honest with you, I gotta look. But yeah, I don't have a garage, so my couch. I haven't used my couch in 3 years. I got. I make this a little tent for her, so she calls it up in there. She gets, especially when it's cold outside, she gets that little. Where is my pop? Oh well. So guys, I hope that was not too long and not too tooth pulling. My system is done the same as it has for last week, and not a whole lot going on there. I could run my fridge off these batteries all night long. It's just that I have it's set for 26 volts. That's about 60%. So when the battery gets down to 60%, that will automatically kick on and charge the batteries. Because before I had to, when I was running the inverter, the other setup, run the fridge off of this, plus that 2,000 watt inverter. And then when I didn't here I didn't have sun for a couple of days, or not really. The issue was a charge controller. That was the issue. I didn't have a good charge controller. Nothing wrong with that charge controller. It's just it wasn't. I need a charge controller that was 100 Victron I need a 30 amp charge controller, and that was only 20. So I was not putting out the full potential of my solar panels I had. So 400 watts ain't nothing, but with the other charge controller, I was only putting out maybe 175. It hit 225 watts sometimes, 250 maybe, but I wasn't getting the full 400. And I went on that roof several times. Why am I getting 400 in here? At least 300. It's because of charge controller. It was not rated at all, so that was my fault. I didn't understand charge controllers. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you had a good evening. Have a good day, and think I'm going to go and try to get some of these apps switched over, and you guys will have and order those batteries.